Welcome to another episode of My Awesome Podcast. I am Salim. This is Mike. We have a lot to get into, so let's jump in.
Okay, the first thing I've got is a video, like normal. I mean, I feel like this is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
So, okay, I saw this and it made me think, and then I kind of got upset, and I'm on her side, let's say.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me show you another bizarre comment. This is from a man called Patrick Christie's. He calls himself a journalist, and this is what he said.
Congratulate India on landing on the dark side of the moon. I would also like to now invite India to return the £2.3 billion foreign aid money that we sent them between 2016 and 2021. We should not be giving money to countries with a space program. As a rule, if you can afford to fire a rocket at the dark side of the moon...
Now, India has landed on the moon, and British influencers say, return our aid money. If you're going down that road, let's start with reparations. Let's start with the colonial loot. Return that money first. And we have the bill. Some $45 trillion. That's what Britain looted from India between 1765 and 1938. And this is just an estimate. The actual figure could be much higher. But even this 45 trillion is about 15 times Britain's GDP.
Yeah. So, I agree. You know, we often hear as Americans all the things that we're doing that is wrong.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of it has some merits. Maybe we shouldn't have done this or maybe we shouldn't have done that. Hindsight is great,
Yeah.
you know, for acting like you're perfect.
Right.
But if we look at throughout history of what Great Britain has done to the world, I agree with her. You know, there are tons of moments where Great Britain has gone to different areas and not even with, like, you know, she was talking about resources and stuff, but stolen artifacts. Now, they say that they're preserving them in their world-renowned museum, but countries that they come from are saying that they stole them, and a lot of them are asking for them back.
Right.
And Britain has basically said, well, we take care of them better than you. But the thing is like, if I were to go to your house, steal a bunch of your stuff, and then you ask for it back, and I said, I'm going to take better care of them than you. Doesn't that kind of piss you off?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And you have every right to demand those things back.
Yeah.
So,
and, you know, then let's talk about the resources.
yeah.
That was a lot of the reasons why they so-called colonized certain areas. I mean, they basically just showed up. There was a bunch of people there, and they were like, this is ours now.
Yeah.
And then they just did whatever they wanted, and they just took a bunch of resources.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. She definitely has a point, you know, and that's something that can easily be argued. I don't know how we would come back to defend that.
I would like to say first, or maybe fifth, or whatever point this is, congratulations to India on landing on the moon.
Oh, yeah.
That is not an easy thing to do, and they did it, and congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But there's been so many times where Britain has just acted like the world was their own place to do whatever they wanted to.
Yeah.
I understand saying that as an American, what that means.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, when I hear that from a British person, I just think glass houses.
Right.
Maybe you should put the stones down. No one really wants us to bring up our past now, do we?
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Wow.
I mean, there were parts of what was it in Greece? The Parthenon, the marble carvings, where British, I guess, archaeologists went in there and literally just cut pieces of it out and took it back to the British Museum. Now, in the British Museum, they're displayed as like, hey, you know, this is what happened in ancient Greece. But since they removed them in such a, you know, I would say vandalist fashion. I mean, if that's a word, if we can call that a word.
Yeah.
Now, the pieces that are left in Greece are on display with huge pieces of plaster put in place to secure the parts that the British have removed. And they clearly have labeled We know where these parts are.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not giving them back.
Oh yeah.
And I just found the whole thing very ridiculous and at times hypocritical.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? That was like a low blow. Because I mean, obviously this is a great feat. They've come a long way to be able to do this, you know. Yeah, that was just very petty, you know.
Yeah, and on top of that, sometimes the British Museum will take exhibits on tour, which, hey, I agree with. I mean, our museums here do that because the whole point of a museum is to learn. And if you can take them to other cities, you're going to allow more people to be able to view and learn from them. And I always think learning is a good thing.
Yeah.
But in 2017, the British Museum took what they call their brand new exhibit of Mumbai to India and basically carted it around and was like, you know, this is your history.
Oh wow.
And I just thought, if I was India, I would be like,
Yeah.
hey, now that you brought it to our country, guess
just-
where it's not going?
Yeah, exactly.
Back to your
Yeah,
country.
you can just leave that there.
I mean, if India wanted to loan it out themselves, fine.
Yeah.
That would be like if you asked me to borrow something and I was like, sure, we're friends.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I can't keep it forever.
yeah, it's not like if I took something of yours and then I loaned it to the neighbor and you're like, hey, can I have that back? And I'm like, I'm loaning it out now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, how ridiculous does that sound?
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that short and I just thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now they're going to complain about a couple $1 billion. Now I know that $1 billion is a lot of money. But for hundreds of years, you just took whatever you wanted.
Yep.
I mean, you should be happy that that country is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be much worse the way that you just took whatever you wanted.
Right. So this article that I wanted to talk about is a little bit older, but I stumbled upon this and I just don't remember ever hearing about this. So this happened in about 2007. I don't know if you're familiar with this. You probably are. You probably heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just thought that this was pretty interesting because, and maybe it was a big deal at the time. I don't know where I was at this point where I kind of glossed over this. But there were some roaches that were sent into outer space.
Cockroaches.
Cockroaches.
Not roaches.
Roaches. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I got to make that distinction here.
Yeah.
And you know, they were kind of contained, but kind of just out there for about a week.
Now,
and
was this on the ISS or wait, what year did you say this was?
this was in 2007.
Okay, so it might have been on the space shuttle. Was it on the space shuttle?
It was on the Photon M
Oh, I don't know what that is.
biosatellite.
Oh, okay. Maybe they just launched a satellite and then what? Because they came back to Earth, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So one of them, obviously, was a female, or maybe it was. I don't know how cockroaches reproduce. Did it reproduce on their own, or like?
No, I think that there's males and females.
Yeah, okay.
I believe that's how they reproduce. I don't know.
Okay, because one of them, maybe about a week after it came back, had 33 babies,
Okay.
and they
Is that
were
a normal number for cockroaches?
yeah, that's a normal number.
Okay.
However, they were different. Their shell was darker than typically usually is.
Okay.
And as they kind of grew to 33,
Yeah.
they were stronger and faster than your typical cockroach.
So they're super cockroaches.
Yeah, so they're super cockroaches.
Now, what happened to them?
So I don't know. That might be classified because I can't find any information on that. Because knowing all that, you know, where else does this program go from now?
Well, it's interesting that they learned that, but sort of like we covered the other week with, what was it, Pablo Escobar's hippos.
Oh yeah,
That is an out of control situation. I'm just saying these should remain contained.
yes, yeah.
Because I don't know what the other repercussions are.
Yeah. And what if you continually have I mean, I know you can't, this is a ridiculous thing to say, but you can't constantly have cockroaches going into outer space to reproduce and then trying to create a super population of cockroaches.
I mean, you could for scientific reasons to find out. I mean, at what point did they mutate into stronger and faster? Was it before conception or after, or like during the gestation period? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating that they change in this way. But I would agree with you that this world has enough cockroach problems. Let's not make them stronger.
Yeah. Now it's important to note that of the super cockroaches, the next generation of cockroaches were normal. They did not continue that strong, faster trait.
Oh, okay.
As being,
So maybe it was during the gestation period or something.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I'm surprised. You know what? We recently just talked about Space Force, and this might be what they're doing. They might be harvesting animals up there. That's why it's so classified.
You know what? That would be very interesting. Let's delve into the conspiracy theories for a second here. Maybe even start one.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's only one generation and then you let that loose, and then the next generation is just as bad, not as bad, easier to stamp out, for pun intended.
Right. I don't know, how far does that go? Do you take like other creatures up there and try that too? Other birds?
I know that there's definitely been animals, but there's been a lot of insects and things like that. And algae and single-celled or simple-celled life, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to keep checking on that because, I don't know, very interesting. Like I said, I wasn't aware that this was a thing that went on.
And I wonder if there's any negative repercussions. There's definitely things that happen to human beings. I mean, we've had to institute a workout schedule. Otherwise, you start losing bone mass and a bunch of other things. There's also eyesight issues where, your eyes can become deformed a little bit because gravity is not just pulling down at them always. And there's definitely, like, I believe when astronauts come back, they're slightly taller because their spine and all their joints haven't been compressed. Now, I think that's a temporary thing. I think after a little while, you go back to normal. And I think your eyesight goes back to normal. But if we definitely weren't instituting a workout program, there was definitely muscle mass loss and bone, I think the density loss. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that there's negative repercussions. So I'm wondering if there's any negative repercussions with the cockroaches. Okay, so the thing I wanted to talk about is I'm just wondering, for about like 5 or 6 minutes, can I just be an old guy?
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Okay. At least when I was younger, I always heard like my grandparents and stuff say things like, well, back in my day, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I've kind of reached that point right now with current inflation and the fact that I'm in my mid 40s and things like that. I'm definitely noticing a lot of things. I remember at one point, like my grandfather saying something, well, back in my day, we could buy a whole bag of candy for a nickel.
Yeah.
I mean, there are ebbs and flows, ups and downs with the market on what things cost. But I remember in the late 90s, I lived in West Michigan, and I remember the local gas station, a gallon of gas was 89 cents.
Okay.
And now it is not 89 cents.
Yes,
now,
it's
just like a year and a half ago, it was like, I don't know, $5-6 around here. And now it's like $3 and something, which isn't that bad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain on that.
Yeah.
89 cents would be great, though.
Yeah, for sure.
But, $3 and something, I can work with that. $5-6, I was like, are we doing this?
Yeah.
I will say I noticed something, and that's what spurred this whole idea to talk about this. And I've, for the very first time, I've got some props for our show. I don't know how terrible this is going to sound on the mic, so I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
But I've got 2 bags of chips. I've got this one.
Yep.
And then I've got this one.
Okay.
And the deal is first of all, we've heard the new term shrinkflation.
Okay.
You know, like
Yeah.
how they'll charge the same amount of money,
Yeah.
but they'll make it smaller.
Yes.
And what really caught me off guard was, well, I guess two things. One, I noticed the side of the bag, and I'm not going to be able to hold it up to see it in the camera, but
Yeah.
just trust me, it says $5.99.
Okay,
It
yeah.
is what it's recommended to be or whatever, and I'm pretty sure that's what I paid.
Okay. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I thought $5.99, well, whatever, I guess. I don't know, it feels ridiculous. And then I looked at how big the bag was. This one is 12 ounces. And I was like, it feels kind of high, but, you know, what am I going to do about it? Then for curiosity's sake, I looked at the other bag, which is also $5.99. And it says 10 ounces. So these two bags here,
Yeah.
oh man, it's going to sound so bad on the camera or on the mic. These are actually different sizes, although they look very similar.
Yeah, they do.
I thought I was grabbing two of the same size bags. I mean, one doesn't say family size.
Yeah.
So then it started me thinking, what did it cost when I was younger? So, you know, of course, with the internet, you can look up all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I looked up what a bag of potato chips cost in 1990. First of all, they were 16 ounces.
Oh, okay.
So they were not
Yeah.
10 and 12 ounces or whatever they're trying to get by us here.
Yep.
They were 16 ounces and they were $3.
Oh man.
So you got more chips,
Yep.
similar size bag for half the money. And I just thought, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm that old guy
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So when people say the good old days,
Back in
they're not
my
lying.
day, you could get a 16-ounce bag of chips for $3.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I dug into this a little bit, and I was looking for something that hadn't changed.
Yeah.
And I'm a nerd, so I play video games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what was kind of amazing is video games haven't really gotten cheaper. Or no, I shouldn't say cheaper, more expensive. They've kind of maintained the same like cost.
Okay.
But because of inflation and things like that, and the dollar being devalued,
Yes.
technically they're cheaper. So in 1990, in the United States, Super Mario Brothers 3 came out for the original Nintendo.
Yeah.
And it debuted for $49.99, basically $50. Now, 30 years later, most games are around $50, $60. A lot of the games I bought for my Switch are $50, $55. That's virtually the same price, except for it's 30 years later.
Right. Yeah.
And chips cost more than twice the
Yes.
amount.
Yeah.
Gas costs several times the
Yes,
amount.
It does.
And video games somehow are around the same price,
Yeah. That's interesting.
which I kind of think that's not that bad.
Yeah.
But you can also,
Not that bad.
you can kind of figure out why some of these game developers are like, we're going to do some in-app purchases.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like, every year, we're not able to charge the same amount. We have to charge less. I mean, effectively because of inflation and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's probably where they're trying to make it up, you know?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Because, there's a lot of games now that have in-app purchases,
Yeah.
and then they try to get you when it's like, $2.99,
Right.
when it's basically $3, even though that's not that much, but still, you already paid $50 for the game.
You know what? And I will say, and I didn't look this up, but this is just coming from my memory. I feel as if movies are similar. Because even right now, when a new movie comes out, and I'm able to stream it for the first time, sometimes it's $25. But a lot of times it's $19.99, $20.
Yeah.
And don't you remember as a kid being in the store and a new VHS was $20, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah.
But two things that seem to be not more expensive, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything else is getting more and more
Yeah.
expensive.
So what's interesting about that? What you did was I recently saw that so the movie Home Alone. You saw the movie Home Alone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone when Kevin goes out to buy his groceries, someone did an entire they recreated that shopping list and did it today, and it was like $20 more for the things that he got. I can't remember his whole list, but
Oh, it was only $20 more?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Because-
sure it was $20. Maybe it was more, but it was significantly more. I mean, I think that $20 for those same things, some of the stuff they couldn't find
Okay, because
exactly the
I
same.
have definitely seen YouTube videos where they've gone, like an influencer who's been doing it for a while, went to a grocery store a long time ago and was like, oh, these are the 10 things I'm going to buy. How much do they cost? And in fact, I saw one a couple months ago where they were like, yeah, our original grocery bill was $60, and then they did it like 4 years ago again, and it was like $80.
Yeah.
And then they just did it this year and it was like 120. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
We are not moving in the right direction.
No. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I hate the idea of inflation, but like, I don't know. Things are going to go up because, I mean, we're over here thinking that 89 or 99-cent gas was nice, but it used to be way less than that before.
Yes.
So,
And I get we probably need gas more than any other liquid besides like water. But if you really think about it, I remember back when the gas was 89 cents and I was listening to a radio station and they were saying, for all these people that are complaining about 89 cents, you can't buy a gallon of milk for 89 cents. And I was repeating this to my father over our Christmas celebration.
yeah.
And he was like, well, even now, you're not buying a gallon of milk for $3 whatever. That's more than that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, because I don't buy
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I was going to say $5. I don't know if that's right, but probably close.
Yeah. I think it's in that neighborhood. But yeah, either way, still less expensive than you can't drink it though. But and don't drink it.
Yeah.
Just for your car.
And they're never going to go down. We won't see those prices like that again, unfortunately.
Probably not. Not unless something real bad happens.
Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Are you willing to sacrifice the cheap
No.
groceries for-
I don't want the economy to tank. I'd rather just acknowledge that we're older and we remember a time where stuff costs a lot less.
Yeah. Whatever I call my segment now, This Week in Michigan.
That will always end on a good note.
Yes, always on a good note.
Okay,
so
good.
I'm still thinking how I'll do that in this one.
Okay. Jeez.
Okay, so in this article, there is a student at Wayne State University,
Right.
and that's here in Michigan.
Yeah.
So in this article, as you can see, there's a student who was going to school to be a gym teacher.
Right.
The students, as it listed in the article, was a like 400-pound student, and was on his last like requirement to kind of be a gym teacher, which he was asking that it be like a remote thing to do, when traditionally it's like in the field. And that got denied, which essentially is gonna block him from completing his degree to become a gym teacher.
Wait, what was the last part? Was it teaching a gym class?
Pretty much, yes. Yeah.
And
it's
he
like-
wanted to do that remotely.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
I mean, I like working remotely too, but
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So this individual has like diabetes, a few other health conditions that he doesn't feel comfortable or able to be able to complete this last section like in person for his health. So requested to do it remotely, and then now is suing the university. If your goal is to be a gym teacher, like you will have to be able to like be there in person. I don't know if you're expected to, like, if you have your kids run laps, usually the gym teacher isn't running laps with them, but maybe you got to be able to perform some of the tasks that you're asking your students to do.
yeah, I mean, like I've said 100 times now, it's been a long time since I was in school, but from what I remember from gym class, it was a kind of a be there kind of thing. I mean, we were all doing, what do you call them? Calisthenics, or daily exercises.
Right.
And the teacher would walk around and be like, no, you got to do this or you got to do that, and critique people. And then we would play some type of, game that there was a level of athleticism and there was definitely getting a workout,
Right.
like even whether it was kickball or dodgeball or something, we were running around as hard as we could.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how do you do that remotely?
Yeah, I don't know. And then I don't know, is there also another stigma to this? To being like a 400-pound student and being a gym teacher? Like, is that like are people not taking that seriously? Because I don't know, like I think most of our gym teachers have not been like, the most fit person, but you can tell that they kind of have been, exercising or working
I get
out.
what you're
or,
saying, and I'm not sure. Personally, I wouldn't care if what the person's weight was, as long as they could do all the things.
Yeah.
But if it interfered with what they had to do, then I could see that being an issue.
Yeah. Okay. Because I don't know, like, the student is claiming that that's part of the reason that they want to, the school is trying to block his request and to have him not complete the program, is that he doesn't fit their mold, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a touchy subject, and I'm sure that
Yeah.
people are going to be pissed off at us for even
Yeah.
bringing it up and talking about it.
And and I'm not trying to like shame anyone, but
Yeah.
I just thought this was an interesting article that's happening here in our state, and
I mean, the deal with me is like, neither one of us are perfect. I don't think anyone's perfect. Let's just start with that.
Mhm.
One of my problems is that I don't deal with heights very well.
yeah,
So you know what would be a terrible job for me? A roofer.
yeah, yeah,
I don't even like going up on my roof to clean my gutters anymore.
yeah,
I've actually made this thing out of like it's a PVC pipe, and it's an older motorcycle mirror I put on the top of it, and I can connect it to my hose.
yeah.
And I literally just walk along the gutter and I push all the stuff to
Oh,
where
yeah,
the
yeah.
drain is.
Mhm.
And then I get up on a ladder so I don't have to go all the way on the roof. And I just clean the drain out right there. And then I wash it out, and then it all goes on the ground. I clean the ground up. And I don't have to think, wow, if I fell off the roof, I might be dead, or I might be in a wheelchair or something, or something. I don't know. I don't want to fall off the roof.
Yeah.
So I don't go up there.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple times I have to go up there, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's a good job for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, am I wrong in saying that?
No, I think that makes sense, but because I don't know this individual's motivations to wanting to be a gym teacher.
Yeah, that's true.
We
We do not know this person.
Right. Yeah, and so I don't know, maybe they have different motivations. Maybe they thought that, this would be an easy paying position, and if you don't have to do much.
We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that it was an interesting topic to bring up because, I haven't heard of anything like this before.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting story. For my next thing, it was really more of a question, and then I've got some examples. What do you think, in your personal perspective? What do you think is the hottest cartoon character of all time?
What in the? I don't even know if I can even answer that.
No, come on, you can answer it.
Because that just totally caught me off guard. I don't even know. The hottest cartoon character.
Yeah. Did you have any maybe as a kid where you were like, wow, like a secret crush or something that you want to divulge right now?
No. Why would I want to tell everybody that?
Come on.
No, I can't think of anything. I know that.
Okay.
I know that everybody thought Chun-Li was hot from Street Fighter. I know that's not TV, but
Okay, is this her?
yeah, that's a different that's not from the original Street Fighter.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I just picked the first one. Okay. So my first pick would be, and I've already talked about it, it's Chitara.
Okay, that's right. You did mention that before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
look at her.
Yeah.
What's wrong with her? The answer is nothing.
Yeah, this is uncomfortable.
Look, she's an amazing warrior,
Yeah.
and she likes leotards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus, she's got that stick thing, whatever that's for,
Yeah, yeah.
and these bracelets, which I'm sure are just for visual,
Yeah.
for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah. Is that a bow staff? I think that's what that is.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, so now who's your next pick?
Dude, I don't know, man. This is weird.
It's not weird. Just stop being a baby about it. And
Okay,
pick
let me
one.
see. No, it has to be a show.
I mean, it just has to be a cartoon. I said hottest cartoon
I don't know.
characters of all time.
Let me see. Call me off guard. Cartoon. I don't know. What about April from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Ooh, okay. What What was her last name again? Wasn't it like O'Neill or something? Or
Yeah, it was.
okay,
Okay.
okay, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. All right. This one for my next next pick, I think you're really gonna like.
Okay.
It's Tinkerbell.
Oh, you know what's funny is that
What's funny? What's funny, Salim?
Yeah.
What's funny about this?
Only because I would always show my kids Tinkerbell movies for like movie nights,
Okay.
and they always would say that I had a crush on Tinkerbell because I'm always picking that. But no, that was not it. It's because it
No.
was wholesome movies.
Sure. All I'm saying is when I was picking my top 3, I thought, ooh, this might be Salim's number 1. and I'm gonna divulge something here to the audience. She is up your alley, isn't she?
What are you talking about? Because she has wings?
No, because she's a little white girl. You got a type.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You make me sound creepy with the way you said that. Okay.
I think everyone who knows us, who watches this,
Yeah.
they're gonna know
Okay.
exactly what I'm talking about. All right. Who do you got for your last pick? We're just doing top 3.
Storm from X-Men.
Okay. Like her.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's
Okay.
in right there,
yeah, yeah, I don't know.
but yeah, this is what you're talking about.
Okay.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think good pick.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be more of a Tinkerbell kind of man, but and evidently your kids think so too.
Yeah.
My third pick is Rogue from X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's got the hair streak, the hair highlights,
Yeah.
plus, come on.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Yeah. And she's strong.
Yes, and she flies. Remember that? She
Yeah.
flew. All right, well, that's all I got. I was just thinking it might be fun for us to do almost like a draft pick of our favorite cartoon hotties.
Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about, or this clip coming up here, I saw this when I was just kind of scrolling through some social medias,
Right.
and I know that we talked about AI on a previous podcast, but I wanted to bring this up again and then show you this and we talk about it.
Okay.
We introduced.
Are being a bit flaky. Could you repeat that?
She wants you to say it again, I think.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say we introduced you to them a little earlier in the show, and we are delighted now to be joined by Ameka here, who's been called the world's most advanced robot. Hopefully you got it that time.
Well, they're here now alongside their creator, Morgan Rowe, and good morning to both of you. And thank you for bringing this in today, because it's actually incredible, really. I mean, it's a bit freaky because it's so real.
Absolutely, yes. And let me say, I'm not the only creator. I don't want to take all of the credit.
It's a team.
It's a team. We've got some amazing engineers. There's actually a team of 35 right now.
Oh, wow.
So it's taken an awful long time to get to this point, as you can see.
So interesting.
This is Ameka.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so
Have you seen this?
No.
Okay.
This is somewhere in California. This is where in the world has Ameka come from? Cornwall.
Cornwall.
Good.
Why not,
good,
Phil?
Good.
Isn't it the best place in the world?
The best place in the world. So tell me about the team then, and how you started this.
So it was started by Will Jackson. He's our founder. He's from Falmouth in Cornwall. He toured the world doing different things, mainly actually in TV. But he always wanted to build humanoid robots. So he set up his company. Where do you want to set it up? He's from Cornwall. He loves Cornwall. Set it up in Cornwall. So that was about 15, 16 years ago. And the technology has built up since then. And I joined.
So my original video wasn't this long.
I didn't need to pause right there.
quite a long time.
Just let it go for a minute.
The whole process of creating Ameka, I've been.
Okay.
So my original video wasn't like the whole length of this. We might have to skip to a different part because there is one particular thing I wanted to show you in this.
And I can't wait for the fun to begin.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
we'll try and start that soon then.
Ameka, what are some of the skills that you have?
I can engage with humans through conversation and respond to questions in a humorous and conversational tone.
Feels like a real
I
Doctor
also
Who
have a
kind of thing,
variety
doesn't
of
it?
sensors and actuators which allow me to interact with my environment. Additionally, I can compose poems to entertain humans.
Ameka, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. It's so exciting to be part of this TV show this morning. It's
This
such an
reminds
honor.
me of that
Ameka,
Bill Burr
do
thing.
you have
This thing's have feelings.
Oh, yeah.
Unplug that thing. Unplug it right now.
Yes. Here's one of my favorite jokes. What do you call a robot who likes to joke around? A funny bot.
Oh,
Oh, funny.
a funny bot.
Very good.
Very good.
Ameka, we nearly have to finish our conversation. One last question,
This is
Ameka.
it.
Do you plan to take over the world?
Don't ask him that.
No, of course not. My purpose in life is to help humans as much as I can. I would never want to take over the world. That's not what I was built for.
If they learn...
Well, that was a
if they
great
learn, 'cause
answer, wasn't it?
I've seen, because you say next, hopefully they'll be walking, the arms are amazing. But we saw recently that senior people in AI are leaving the industry because they're saying, this has got too big, too fast.
Expanding really quickly because it's just software. Longer because it's just software. There's the difference between the AI, the software, and the robots. The robots themselves, it's a lot longer to develop because it's really difficult, really challenging because it's physical. But with the AI, the main issue we have is we don't actually know what the risks are. We're just wondering what the risks are. So that's why a lot of people are saying, well, how about we stop? We stop training these AIs and do some studies on it because it's moving so fast. We don't even have time to do the studies to see what the risks are. And that's true. With the
That's what you wanted me to see, the wink?
robot,
Yeah.
Because it progresses at a slower
And then
pace.
some of his
We
answer.
can assess those risks.
And you need to check out the risks first.
He didn't say no, though, did he?
No, he didn't say no, and it was all on hope. We hope
amazing.
we have a future.
Good
Thank you
luck
very
to
much.
the rest of the team down
Yeah,
in Cornwall.
good work.
It is
She's
incredible.
amazing.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
Ameka, thank you so much for coming today. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure to be here.
Well, you're very welcome.
Oh, she's very polite.
So listen, I know that was long, but there was one part where the hosts were asking that guest if the
That
robot,
guest?
yeah, sorry, if the robot would ever take over the world, and the camera panned over and it looked like she rolled her eyes.
No, I don't
You
think
know,
that's what happened.
because
Although I was half expecting her to wink.
yeah.
No, I'd never do that.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. So we talked about, AI a little bit before on the previous podcast, but it, like they said in there, it is progressing very fast. And it just sounded like he was like, we don't know the dangers of it progressing so fast. So we don't
I
know
think
what
the
what to
obvious
look for.
danger would be a super intelligence that
Yeah.
makes us look like ants.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be in a robot form. It can just be inside of a machine.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that there's been movies out there like, AI or Terminator, where it feels like the AI technology kind of advances on its own, like it gets smarter on its own without humans.
I mean,
Like,
it's kind of doing that now.
yeah. Why wouldn't that be worrisome if you've already created this?
Yeah, I mean, the AIs that are out there right now, they're in, the IT term would be like a sandbox, like it's fenced off in its thing. But if you listen to what Google has said about Bard and other AIs that they've talked about, the previous AI has written the new AI's software to some degree.
Right.
I mean, it's not full on sci-fi where it's just getting smarter all by
Right,
itself,
Right.
but it's also not that far off.
Yeah. I don't know. It is very worrisome. But, I mean, it's fascinating, but it's worrisome.
Right.
So, I don't know where to go from here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave some feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe.